Hello and welcome back to We Go East.
My name's Ashley.
And I'm Theo.
And today we're talking about 5 real-life examples of why Japan is such a safe country to live in.
So safe.
All the safe. The most obvious example of this to us is that people feel safe enough to sleep in public. You'll often find people sleeping on trains and even in the middle of the street in Tokyo. And they sleep with all of their belongings, their phone on their lap or their bag right next to them, and it's very unlikely that anything will be stolen.
Now this sense of safety is very, very prominent when people are drunk because people will sleep anywhere. People will sleep anywhere in Japan, on the trains, on the floor of the trains, in the stations, on the streets, under layovers or buses. They will sleep anywhere.
If I were to fall asleep on public transport in England, I would grab my stuff and grab it next to me to make sure I'm not getting robbed. And there's no way you're gonna fall asleep in the middle of the street and feel safe.
You lost.
In the UK, per 100,000 people, there are around 2,200 thefts. However, in Japan, that number is as low as 290, which is almost 2,000 less.
Okay, next. In Japan, if you lose an item, more often than not, it's gonna be returned to you. Japanese people are renowned for being very honest and returning misplaced items.
Japan's lost goods law requires anyone to hand in anything that's misplaced if they find it. They have to hand it into the police station no matter what it is, no matter the value. Children in Japan are taught from a young age to hand anything they find into the police.
Even as little as a 10-yen coin. And the police officer will file it as a real report, but obviously he knows that no one is gonna
claim
it.
10-yen coin.
So he gives it back to the child as a reward. In England, if you lose your phone or your wallet, you leave it somewhere, it's gone.
Yeah.
As soon as you leave it, you're
And it's gone.
you go, it's not there, you're never getting it back.
How many phones did you lose in England?
Fair few.
Too many iPhones.
Yeah. And when you lose your wallet, it's so annoying you have to cancel all your cards, but that doesn't happen in Japan.
Nope. During the Rugby World Cup in 2019, I left my phone in a train station toilet and I realised about half an hour later when we were on the way to the game, I'd put it on top of the toilet roll. Plain as day, right there for anyone to take or steal. For anyone to steal. But obviously, I went back, I was in a hurry, I was like, oh my god, my phone's gonna have gone. It was there. I was astounded.
And me, like the idiot I am, I left my wallet on a bus. And my wallet had so many things in it. It had about 20,000 yen, or £200, had my residence card, my health card, all my bank cards, had my keys to my apartment, and on your residence card it has your address to your apartment, so oh my lord, someone could absolutely rinse me with that.
And me.
Yeah, well, we could get back and everything would be gone from my life.
And mine.
Yeah, well. But of course, it's Japan. And I woke up the next day, I called the bus company and they found it. And it was there, it had everything in it. They didn't even take any money, it was all there, everything was there, I just went and got it back. And the thing is, this is common in Japan. If you lose something, you will get it back. I've got some stats here. Apparently, 88% of phones in Tokyo are handed in lost phones, compared to 6% in New York. Oof. Don't like those odds. And also, for wallets, 80% of Tokyo wallets were handed in, compared to 10% in New York. Woo. The way Japan is so successful in dealing with these lost and misplaced items is through Kobans.
What's a Koban, I hear you ask?
A Koban is a Japanese police box, and it's a really recognisable feature of Japan's streets. There are over 6,000 in Japan. They are literally everywhere.
They're more common in bigger city centres because that's where the majority of things happen.
But even in the middle of the countryside, you're still going to find the local Koban, and they are supposedly manned around the clock. So you're meant to be able to go there with any issue at any time, although sometimes they're definitely not manned.
Kobans are a great feature of Japan because they give a visible police presence, especially in town centres where the majority of incidents tend to occur. The fact that the Kobans are so visible acts as quite a nice deterrent to anything that might happen or go down.
And also it's a place that is open all the time, so if something were to happen, you could go there.
And seek shelter or help.
Yeah, but they're actually mainly just used for directions and for lost property.
Yeah.
Kobans do have some very interesting architecture. They're very famous for having nice architecture as well, like this.
The sheer abundance of police stations or police boxes in Japan makes it a lot easier to hand stuff in because they're right there. You see one, you hand it in.
And it also means if you lose something with your address on, it can get back to you much easier because it can get back to the local Koban and then back to you.
Yeah. Great stuff.
Good stuff.
Good stuff all around. Before we go any further, I must plead for your help in finding the lost like button. You can help by moving your mouse today, hovering over that little like button and clicking it. Thank you. Personally, the most shocking thing for me about how safe people feel in Japan is that people will often leave their cars running with the keys in the ignition as they go shopping. This was especially prevalent in Hokkaido where it's quite cold, so you can understand why people leave their cars on to keep the heat in. But you would go in to the big supermarket and people would be doing their weekly shops and their cars would meanwhile be running with the keys in the ignition for about, 45 minutes, half an hour.
Bonkers.
If you were doing this somewhere else, like the UK or the USA, you'd be out of your mind. You'd be bonkers. Why would you do that? Your car would be gone. It'd be gone.
Even leaving your keys in the car, like without the car being on,
Yeah.
is bad enough. But they leave it with like the car's on, the doors are open, the keys are in, ignition's on, ready to go. Just get in and then you've got your car.
Like the car theft in Japan is just so insignificant compared to like the UK and the USA. In the UK, you leave your car running for like a second, it's gone. It's on a boat.
It's on fire.
It's on a boat
to Albania.
before you know it.
Now, I don't really know that much about car theft in Japan and if it's a big deal. I don't think it is. But maybe part of the reason that it's not is because when you buy a car in Japan, you need to have a parking space in front of your house that you register the car to.
No car parking space, no car. I had to do that in Hokkaido when I bought my car. The police physically come to your house.
And they measure it to make sure it's the right size.
They measure your car parking space to make sure your specific car will fit into the space.
And you're not allowed to have a car until you get the space registered.
Yeah.
So maybe that's part of the reason why people feel so blasé about leaving the cars running. Okay, on to our last point, and as teachers, this is something we see all the time. It's the fact that very young children will walk to school on their own and walk home as well. And we're talking babies pretty much. They're like 5 years old and they're walking by themselves to school and sometimes even on public transport.
There's a couple of kids on my way to work that I see get on, and they're tiny. Like, these kids are, they
Tiny.
can't be more than 3 feet tall. They are absolutely minuscule, 4 or 5 years old, and they're,
On the subway.
hat, backpack on the train, with the commuters on the way to work. Work?
On the way to work. Da, 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 da.
Working in the
In
factories.
You would just not let a child that age sort of out of your very close vicinity in England, I think. It's not safe. Well,
it's just not safe anymore.
yeah.
I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I used to walk to school when I was about 8 or 9.
8 or 9 though, not 5.
Yeah, I know. There's
Yeah.
no chance. Far too much.
People would just be worried that you just get
Taken. I will find you. And I will kill you.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You fucker. You don't think I'm Liam Neeson? Neeson?
Oh.
I will find you. Taken to work. School.
Taken to school. I think this just proves how safe Japanese people feel in their country,
Yeah.
that they're letting their really, really young children just off out into society. Sorry, that was quite close to your face. I mean, they do have little alarm bells on them that they can press if anything happens, but still, there's no way, in England, you're not even allowed to let your kid go home, even if they live next door, they have to be signed out by a parent, right? You're not allowed to leave, even if you live right there. You have to be signed out and taken home by a parent.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's stupid in England.
That's dumb.
Overall, Japan is a pretty safe country in comparison to our home country, I would say.
Obviously, Japan is not some sort of utopian society where people, eat in clouds and you're walking on rainbows and stuff like that. The crime does happen. Some more so than others. Like fraud is quite prevalent in Japan.
People always steal umbrellas. Like, that's big in Japan.
Umbrella theft is common.
Bicycle theft is going up, and there's some bad issues with stalking in Japan.
But on the whole, Japan is a relatively safe place to live compared to where we come
And
from.
honest. People are very honest in Japan.
Very helpful as
And
well.
very Japanese.
Very nice.
Yeah,
I like it.
me too.
Let us know in the comments your thoughts on what we've spoken about today. Would you let your kids walk to school? Or would you leave your car running whilst you went to the shops? I certainly wouldn't.
And don't forget to like this video, it really helps us out, and remember to subscribe for more Japan videos.
That's it from us. We'll see you next Friday at 7 p.m. Japan time.
See you!
Goodbye!